Hello and welcome to the Flexline Media coverage of the final round here at the 2023 Discmania Garden City Open. This front nine coverage is brought to you by Discmania. I'm Jeremy Brokenshire and I'm back in the booth with Ashton Clark.
G'day Jerm, good to be back for the final round coverage. We've got an exciting one lined up for you guys. Got a very similar card, one new face, but should be good action. Looking at the players, once again Jay Watkinson out with a lead on 13 under. Joseph Berry 11 down, 2 strokes behind him.
Ethan Stout coming up from Invercargill in third on neg 10 overall, and an international superstar Maverick Robertson joining our lead card here on neg 8 overall in 4th place.
Yeah, good to see him climbing up to final round lead with a couple of consistent rounds, so excited to watch him play.
Hole 1, par 3, 142 metres, 466 feet for you American folk. Wide open hole, wide open fairway, crush one down there, hopefully get in circle and make your putt for birdie.
Yeah, so on the preview, it's nice and sunny, but I think, yep, there we go. On the day, completely different conditions to what we've had for the first 2 rounds. We've got a bit of rain, so that'll spice up the final round a wee bit. Jay's turned one over a little bit here, but he's got plenty of distance, so should be looking at a 3.
Yeah, and as you can see, most of our lead card selecting to tee off to the side of the tee pad. Those AstroTurfs getting a bit slippery in the rain there.
I found them pretty good actually. Wasn't getting too many slips, but maybe it was just my big grippy shoes. I don't know.
We're 3 from 3, so maybe that's what we were doing wrong.
Yeah. You're a bit short from Ethan, but once again, probably looking at a 3. Now let's see what Maverick's got. Nice snappy throw. Maybe not as much turn as he wanted, but hey, similar to the rest of the card. Everyone's looking at a 3.
Probably trying to hyzer flip one over, get a bit of turn and full flight out of that disc, but it's coming up short for Maverick.
A little smooth up from Ethan. Looked a little bit far left out of the hand, but overstable approach.
Little flick with the zone out of Jay. Again, leaving a little bit short, but shouldn't be a problem for him. Tricky line from Maverick, about probably the only obstacle in the fairway, but he's done well to get that pretty close.
Yeah, he should have a par from there. Maverick was running the clinics down at Jelly Park over the week before, so he was teaching everyone some putting tips, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. It was pretty deadly on the putting green down at the clinic, so it'll be good to watch.
Other man who's deadly and definitely doesn't need a putting clinic is Jay. He's well known for his putting in Christchurch, and it's showing with him out in the lead.
Lovely. Good start to the round. Nice clean putt. Wee Tom Strawbridge cameo on the caddy there. Love to see it.
Nice tap and par for Joe to finish hole 1.
So, hole 2. Over the weekend we've seen a lot of people going for the forehand, a little bit of flex maybe, a couple of straight backhand lines at it, but really anything that's going to get you under the ceiling and then check up in the circle. 80 metres, not too long, so these boys will all be expecting a birdie on their lead card final round, I'd say.
Jay throwing that nice line, not that nice height that you want to throw for this hole. Definitely don't want to get some nose up and find some twigs.
Yeah, a little bit short there. Maybe not as much of a flare as he was expecting. The rain coming in might change the ground play that we've had for the first 2 days. We're getting a lot of quite big skips on this short grass, so players will have to really change their game up a little bit to account for that, I think.
Yeah, and Ethan finding that big skip. Bit of the wet grass. Yeah, Maverick just getting perhaps a little bit of air bounce and finding some Twizzlers.
Cool, no damage. He should have that on lock. Sneaky run from Joe maybe. He'll be looking to gain a few strokes early on, I'd say. Jaden's a pretty tough one to chase down.
Be interested to see how this weather affects the putting. I know sometimes the rain can make the grip a little slippery and make things not as routine as we're all used to. Yep. No problem for Ethan.
Yep, Ethan doesn't mind. He's grabbing a stroke right off the start. Tied with Joe now.
Nice easy clean up for Jay here. Not a bad par start. I think the holes in the front 5 holes is you really want to pick up hole 2 and hole 4, but taking pars and walking away with no damage, no bogeys isn't a bad start.
Yeah, of course. Good to see also in the background a little bit of a gallery forming at the very beginning of the round. Good to see for a first of our New Zealand majors. A lot of spectators out there.
Hole 3, par 3, 132 metres. We've got a Mando to the right off the tee. You want to be passing to the left of that. This is a hole where you really want to throw a full flex, full turnover, and have it come out at the end. Just dipping under those low branches to a pretty open green. There's some bark and twigs around it, so you get a good bit of ground play if you can make it all the way to circle 1.
Cool, Ethan ripping on a Zeus there. Got a nice turn on this one. That should check up. Oh, he's just caught that tree. It's deceptive. That was looking like it was a really good line.
Nice full flight there out of Jay. That should be close.
Yeah, that's more like it. I think that was a wraith out of Jay. Got a nice flippy driver. Joe with the same.
Bit of wind starting to pick up as well. Could make the rest of the round interesting. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, tough conditions, and this one was an especially tough hole to get the birdie on. Quick shout out to Ben Wheellake, I think, grabbing a birdie from MPO, and Ben Shakur and Charlie Clemens in MA1.
Awesome work, guys. This is a really tough birdie. Some of our lead card just finding perhaps the edge of circle 2 there. Joe well outside and leaving a little bit left to putt with. Ethan not making the same mistake and putting that one in the bullseye.
Well, Maverick might have a little run at this one. Yeah, wee stepper. Maybe a little bit scared to give it too much height because of that ceiling. Could drop you down and end up short.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Maverick coming down to New Zealand. Simon Lizotte was supposed to make the trek down to little old New Zealand, but unfortunately he had to pull out with all the sponsorship changes and whatnot. So, yeah, Maverick getting the opportunity to step up and come down. I know he's stoked to be touring around the South Island with Avery Jenkins as well after this tournament.
Yeah, it was great to have him here, and he'll be stoked to be playing well at the tournament as well, especially making the lead card coverage.
Lead card, tapping out some pars here. No harm, no foul. No bogeys through 4 as well. Through 3. That's really good.
Alright, hole 4. We've got a relatively short par 4. You just want to put one out safe to the left and then have you about a 70-80 metre upshot past these cabbage trees here. We've got an OB path long, which we've seen come into play a couple of times, so hopefully they can all stay in bounds. Final round, people chasing. We might see them get a bit more aggressive on the tee shot this time. Be interesting to see what happens. Ethan with the lefty might be trying to go through the trees here.
Yeah, our lead car will definitely be looking to pick up a birdie here, especially with a lot of grey on the scorecard though. I'll be wanting to get some more green in there.
Yeah, without the roller, I'd say that's probably one of the closest shots you're going to get to the basket. So he's just left with a small chip.
Jay wanting that one to get up on edge, and yeah, that wet ground starting to show its effect with the flare skip.
Yeah, so Jay previous round went long of that second tree in the fairway, so and hasn't gone for the same play, but he's in a good spot. Here's the aggressive line.
Yeah.
Unlucky from Joe. That could have easily jumped up with the speed it had on it, but just catches the edge of the bunker.
Yeah, great hole design as well. Kind of putting that bunker there to really probably stop that roller play. But I did see a few sneak through in the weekend.
Of course, yeah.
This is how I like to play the hole. Just forehand into the round the Mando into the landing zone, and then another forehand. Avoid the Guardians and hopefully put one close.
Yeah, making it look simple.
Jay doing the same thing, just avoiding those Guardian trees.
Cool, and I'd say those are 2 birdies right there. Joe looking to scramble for his par from the hazard. Very similar looking up shot. And
Bullseye.
yeah, he's probably got a par there. Alright, Ethan nearly in jump putt range. Just a smooth little throw. And all the boys nice and close. Let's see how they go putting in the rain.
Well, after those clinics, this shouldn't be a problem for Maverick. And yep, there's some green on the scorecard. He's on the board. Yeah, love to see that gallery forming in the background.
Ethan letting one go there. Could have put himself into solo second with that one. Joe finding the hazard.
Maybe the gallery was a bit too much for Ethan. No problem for Jay though. Good birdie. He's on the board as well.
Yeah, he's used to the pressure by now. He's quite used to having a lead and playing on those lead cards, especially on coverage. So it'll be a tough one to track him down, I'd say. Ethan just cleaning up his par. And Joe also with a par.
Shout out again to Discmania for that awesome ad and sponsoring the tournament, really. Hole 5, par 3, 83 metres. Mando to the left, a lot of trees, want to miss them. The flex forehand is probably the line as we see Jay going from that. This is going to want to check up before skipping OB. Yeah.
Yeah, so the overstable fairway there, getting a bit of ground play. Will Maverick follow with the... Yeah, so he's cut it off early as well. Maybe a few grip issues in the rain, potentially.
Yeah, perhaps the same mistake as hole 2, just getting that nose up and, yeah, really getting it higher than he wanted to.
Oh, it's a great shot there by Ethan. Replay, Morrison Mitsubishi, sponsoring a car for Maverick and Avery for the week that they were here with their South Island trip. So massive shout out to those guys.
Yeah, I believe Avery and Maverick are touring around playing most of the courses in the South Island, something that a lot of us local players don't get the pleasure of doing.
Yeah, it's actually amazing when you think about how much walking and driving they did over that week. Do you know how many courses they actually played?
Oh, I saw they were up to 21, 25. I don't know. It was a lot. There's some beautiful courses in there that I didn't even know existed. Coronet Peak being one of them.
Yeah, I think it'd be up in the 40s, something like that. So massive shout out to Morrison Mitsubishi for making it happen.
Lead card leaving some of these upshots or jump putts a little longer than we'd expect.
So we've seen a few slightly wide putts out of Jay here. Not normal for him. Might be a little bit nervous coming into the final holes of this large tournament. Unlucky that could have been in.
It was a good stance at a Maverick. Did he teach that one in the clinics?
Oh no, keep that one secret, I think. Eh? So a couple of boys just off the basket. Can Jay tidy up? I think this is for bogey. Right, he needed that one. Still not a confident putt. He seems to be a little bit off his normal rhythm. See if he can bring it back together. Definitely creating an opening for Ethan there, and he takes advantage of that one, bringing him within one of the lead.
Fortunate bogey for Joe and Maverick as well. A couple of close missed putts.
So hole 6, got another swing hole, I'd say. The short 89 metres, most players going with a spike hyzer, but you've got this bunker wrapping around the basket, which is playing as a hazard. So usually taking a 3 if you find the bunker, but with the putting and the rain and the wind, anything could happen. Ethan with the high lefty line. That's a beautiful spot to be.
Yeah, and even with all the deadly hazard around this pin, not really playing as hard as I would expect it to, coming in at only 0.15 over par for round 3.
I think a lot of players were finding the hazard off the drive and just ending up with a 3.
Honestly, not the worst place to be though. If you're close to the pin and in the hazard, it's a pretty free par. I'd take that on this hole all
need
day.
A little bit of luck on your side if you're going to park this one, I think. Good tree there for Maverick. I'd say he'll be giving that one a run.
Nice and wide out of Joe. It's looking like a nice line. Could be a little long though.
Just the perfect amount long, I'd say.
It's going to be an interesting decision for Joe and Maverick, I guess, as well, whether they'll choose to lay that up or run that.
Yeah, I'd like to see those boys running this with the deficit they're at the moment. They're within striking distance, so birdies on this hole will be putting them right there in contention for the lead.
Yeah, final round lead card, you have to run it really, and they'll know that.
So Ethan sticking the mound. Joe with a great birdie bounce back after his unlucky 4.
Maverick's got to follow suit here.
Oh yeah, this looks like a run. Ooh, that's going to hurt.
A little too confident.
And he's found the hazard. That's what this hole can do to you. Even those short ones, the presence of the bunker just brings a bit of nerves into the putt.
Yeah.
Good tidy up though.
And a 2 goes to a 4 real quick.
Yeah, it's definitely the most common bogey hole, I'd say.
I love this hole. I love the pin placement. I love the hazard. I love the spike hyzer, both the lefty and righty. It's just, fantastic hole. Fantastic design.
Yeah, I think Ethan might have got a little bit lucky to stick on the hill where he was there. Maybe putting it a bit left on that flat spot where Jay was standing might have been an option, but hey, he's in and he's gaining strokes.
Moving on to hole 7. Par 3, 75 metres. We got 2 Mandos, obviously passing down the middle of either one. There is a righty backhand line or a righty forehand line is the play. It's slightly uphill and you definitely want to control your flare skip or finish to the flight as the ground is very skippy around circle 1.
Yeah, so Joe going for the just powerful forehand approach with a Firebird, looking to push something flat through the gap and have it fade to the basket. Catching a tree, but he's got a look. This is looking great.
Yeah.
He comes to rest directly behind a tree, but we straddle and he's close enough where that should be a pretty good look for him. Jay following Joe, catching the same tree, I think. Not quite as good of a redirection.
Both throwing a pretty good line, just getting a bit unfortunate with the trees.
I reckon that's about what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well played, Maverick.
Yeah, none of our lead card really controlling the ground play too well on this hole, but Ethan, apart from Ethan, obviously. Good up there from Jay. Running it.
Yeah, so no one's really looking like they're firing on all cylinders at this point in the round. So slow start, I'd say, for the card, but
just as you say that,
yeah, that's a great putt. He'll be happy with that after a couple of bogeys. Still not out of it. There's some tough holes coming up. Lots of multiple shot swings out there on the back of this course.
Yeah, especially the last few holes. Shots or scores can change 2, 3 strokes, 4 strokes even within those last 2 holes.
Yeah, and if the card keeps up with these wobbly putts, then anything could happen.
Good par clean up there from Jay.
Also, not to mention, we've got some pretty dangerous players on Chase and Chase, and just the field in general for MPO at this tournament. It's pretty stacked.
Yeah, amazingly stacked field for MPO. I think we had 53, 54 players in MPO, which is definitely the most of any tournament in New Zealand.
All right, hole 8, par 4. Nice short par 4. If you're not getting this one on lead card, you're probably kicking yourself, I'd say. So hopefully all the lads can get around the corner for a simple upshot. Might even see some eagle looks.
Yeah, especially after Ben Will Lake's eagle in round 1. Surely there'll be people looking to get the eagle here.
Also, I don't think the forehand is the super aggressive line, but it's really just going to set you up for a simple upshot. Should be skipping straight into the middle of the fairway there. Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, get around that Mando, right into the middle, and then leave yourself with an easy putter upshot. I think that's a nice way to play the hole out. This is going to be boomed.
There's not much punishment for going for the massive distance like this, but I think the percentage play probably would be the forehand, just because of the chance of cut rolls and fading out early, and the gusty wind we had over the weekend.
Mr. Boom Salisbury might even have a cheeky look for eagle there.
He's got to run it, right?
100%.
There's the safe forehand. Still getting plenty of distance around the corner.
And even if you are looking at running at that putting green, it's reasonably far back, so a good jump putt is probably not going to sail OB.
Just looks a bit scary.
Especially on the upshot. The open field and the golf green behind really gets in your head on the upshot for this hole. Definitely don't want to throw it too far.
It's a nice, probably tactic into the green there out of Maverick. Super close. His putting's been pretty good this round, so he should have that one.
Jay with his trusty zone, throwing it out, relying on the fade. That'll do just nicely for a birdie.
Yeah, just a bunch of matching upshots on this one, all looking for their overstable approach. Just nice and soft, short of the basket. Joe does have a putt.
Love to see him giving that a little bit as well.
Yeah, never really had the height to give it a chance, but good to see that he's got that aggressive mindset still.
Great putt there from Ethan. Bringing him back to one of the lead, but Jay should hopefully nail this down and keep 2 ahead on him. Before I give a commentator's curse, because it hopefully doesn't happen, but hopefully looking like a star frame out of our lead card, with hole 8 coming in as the easiest hole for round 3, you'd expect as much.
You would hope so from the lead card, wouldn't you? So gallery continuing to grow. A lot of players will be finishing their rounds soon, and I'd say they'll be heading over to follow. So moving on, we have hole 9. Par 3, 85 metres, pick a side of the tree. Either backhand or forehand, you're probably looking at a flex shape shot and trying to check up just over the OB river and skip to the pin. Maverick looking at the backhand here.
Tricky backhand line, and that tree seems to pick up a lot more backhand discs, I find, than forehands.
Seemed to just launch one dead straight. I would have expected a little bit of Annie out of the hand maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Joe will be looking to turn this one over and rely on the fade to get back into circle.
A little bit long, but it's pretty clean out of Joe.
Standard problems for Joe. Jay following suit, but...
So he's going inside the tree again. I think he did that last round. I wasn't sure if that was his intentional play, but catching a limb and dropping into the OB area.
I would imagine that he's trying to release it with a bit of Anheuser, surely.
And once again, Ethan with a smooth backhand right under the basket. So with Jay going OB, Ethan under the basket, we could have a potential 2-stroke swing here. Could make for a spicy back 9.
Jay taking his medicine, laying that one up nice and close. Maverick says, I don't want any of that, and I'm going to run it.
Really close. Good run. Doesn't look like we've got too much wind around at the moment, and the rain is still there, but still definitely not the easiest conditions on the green.
Maverick picking up another bogey.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster finish to the back nine for Maverick. No grey on the scorecard there. Lovely birdie for Ethan. He's really putting together a nice clean front nine, keeping himself right up there.
Ooh, that's
powerful
impressive.
putt right into the top from Joe. Just making sure of it. And Jay with a bogey to finish out at 13 under, tied with Ethan after the front nine.
As we see a nice replay there. Ethan's crush on hole 4.
So we've got a tie up the top, Ethan and Jay on 13, and one behind them is Joe Berry. Nate Perkins as well with a 4-down start to his round, heading up into the top of the leaderboard.
Some other local crushes, Brady Cush, good to see him up there, and Levi Stout from Invercargill, Ethan's brother, tied 5th as well.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the back nine of the New Zealand South Island Champs, Discmania Garden City Open.